Hi guys, my name is Tatyana and I'm from, I work for Slavny Group Admiral. I'm a real estate agent. I have a team called the Slavny Homes team. I'm here with my husband today, Shane Kane. My father, Ilya Slavny, is also another team member. Thank you for inviting me to speak today. It's actually the first time I'm doing this, so please bear with me. So I just wanted to talk to you guys about investing in real estate. I'm assuming that do you guys all have like a property right now that you live in, that you own, or are you guys looking for information how to get your first property and then start making money going forward? First time?
Probably both.
Both? Okay. So can you guys raise your hand who owns a property right now? Okay. So we're going to start talking about how to buy your first property. And then we'll talk about how to leverage that property in order to buy a second property. Okay. So basically, in order to qualify to buy a house, a condo, whatever, you need to get pre-approved. So people like to go onto the Realtor app, look for houses, they get all excited. We run around, but at the end of the day, if they don't have the money, they can't buy property. So you have to kind of take a few steps back. You have to start by making sure that you have all the prerequisites in order to buy a property. Meaning that your income and your credit, everything sort of works hand in hand, and you're qualified to buy a property. You need to have about 20% down. Usually, you have to have money for closing, and then basically start by buying your first property. Ourselves, me and my husband, our first property, we did have help, just like first-time buyers, young buyers. Price points are a little bit out there, so we did have leverage from my parents that acted as guarantors for our first property. So that's a really good piece of advice. So if you guys are looking to buy property and you guys are a little bit short in terms of your income, you can get support from a relative, which is really common in this market, to help you guys qualify for your first property. Once you buy your first property, you move in. I do a lot of pre-construction. So when you buy a condo from the builder, it takes about 4 years from start to finish for it to be ready. So you're investing money, you're buying it at present value. And by the time it's ready, hopefully within a few years it goes up in price. The thing with condos, it takes time. You have to wait about 4 years. When you buy pre-construction, let's say townhouse, it takes about 1.5 years. So from the time that you've invested your deposit, which is typically about 10% in this market. So if you're buying a townhouse for $800,000, you'd be putting $80,000 down within a span of 6 to 9 months typically. Hoping that by the time it's built, it goes up in price. You move in, right? So that's a scenario that we've had up to April-ish, right? And at the time that you move in, you sort of get in there, and within a few months, you pull a home equity line of credit, pull some money out, and you start making your next move in order to move up, in order to get a second property, in order to leverage it. When you close a second property, you do need to have a higher mortgage, down payment. So you need about 30-ish%. So you need to have a little bit more money. So hopefully you have equity in the house. Or again, you can leverage, family in order to do that as well. So we specialize in buying pre-construction for our clients. I believe that townhomes, detached homes are the best value and they grow the fastest. We look for small towns. We did a lot of investments in Niagara Falls. The deposit was only $20,000. So the risk involved, locking up your money for 1.5 years with $20,000 is minimal. Again, you have to make sure that you're able to close the properties. Things are a little bit challenging in this market, and people think that they can just put $20,000 and 1.5 years later, if the market changes, they can just tell the builder thank you very much, didn't work out. So in this market, builders are definitely feeling a hit because some people can't close. Most of the time, it kind of works itself out. But the expectation is if you're buying a property, you should be able to close it. There is a trend called assignments, which you're selling the paperwork. So you buy a property, and without getting a mortgage, you can leverage this transaction. If you can't afford to close or you don't want to close, you can resell the paperwork. Again, the government, the CRA, is cracking down on these assignment sales. Anything that you do except for your primary residence gets taxed, and there's also HST, which is involved, so you do have to factor in. You have to make sure that it works for you. So we do a lot of pre-construction. We help our clients move up. So they usually start with one property. Within a few years, they have a few income properties. The math doesn't always work. So sometimes, rent will be, $2,000, but the mortgage will be $2,500 plus utilities, plus taxes, But the way we explain it to our clients, we understand they're short. If they're able to carry the property, even if it's an extra $1,000 a month, you know, let's say over a 12-month span, it's, you know, $12,000, $20,000, whatever it is, the property grows in a much faster pace versus that, you know, $1,000 or $1,500 that you're short every month. So that's how we position it with our clients. But again, you have to have the cash flow in order to afford to, you know, pay those monthly payments. So our clients usually, you know, buy properties, they rent them out for a certain amount of time. I personally think that wealthy people should hold on to their real estate. They shouldn't be selling it no matter what market we're in, and just acquire more properties. But I do notice a trend that a lot of people, you know, buy them. They have a tenant in there for about a year or so, and then they unload the property. Again, you get taxed, sometimes capital gains, sometimes income. So those are accounting questions, depending if you're a serial flipper. But those are also things that you know, our clients do. We specialize in staging. So I'm not a stager, but we have like a team that helps us get top dollar for your house. So staging is like makeup and jewelry for your house. So it's a huge business. You could transform any house into like a piece of gold. So any property that you have that needs a bit of a makeover, like those TV shows, you know, you give the keys, you come back and it's like completely different. That really, especially in this market, I call it like the Bachelor. You need to get the rose. There's so much inventory. I wouldn't say Toronto, but I'm like north of the city, Thornhill, Richmond Hill. There's so much inventory. So I feel like you have to work a little bit harder. You have to compete for the buyers today. So putting your best foot forward is so important. We're looking for condos. That's where I'm going to wrap things up. Look at location. Being close to transit is very important. So transportation, so people are buying condos, don't necessarily have cars. So condos that are near the subway line will always give you a better return on investment. Okay? Do you guys have any questions, or we'll do a Q&A later?
I'll do the Q&A.
Okay. Thank you guys.